Oh, guys, thank you for having jobs. I'm assuming you do. I don't fucking know. You're here. Maybe you robbed somebody. But I was just thinking about that, how long it's been since I've had a job and how I absolutely could not get one right now. Like if I went into a place and gave them my resume, they'd be like, hey, what's with this 13-year gap on here, man? And I'd be like, what's with all those questions, dude? Chill out, you know? I mean, if I had to get a job, I think I would just go for a job where no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about, so I could just make shit up. Because there's a few of those, like the spokesman for an arson investigation. Arson means fire, by the way. I'm seeing a lot of blank faces. And it's amazing. You can see them online. Like, a guy comes out to a podium, and there's a mic, and there's news people around, and it's like a burned down building behind, and he's just like, hey, that shit burned down. And they're like, could you tell us a little more? He's like, what? Like, totally aggravated. What do you want to know? And they go, well, how did it start? And he goes, it was a match. And they go, how do you know? We found it. It, like, is one. There's other matches. And he's like, this one. And they go, how do you know that's the match? Just complicated fire shit, man. You wouldn't understand any of it. Thing is, man, I miss zero part of having a day job. That's the truth. I miss zero part. The only part I still miss is spreading rumors and gossip about people that work there. That's the fucking best. It is. I remember. Going to work sucks. That's universal. Don't act. I mean, shit. Most of you will have it on Monday. Fucking the alarm goes off and you go, motherfucker. Today's gonna suck! But I'm gonna talk shit about Amanda when I get there. And then that raises your spirit, right? And you're like, you think about that in the shower, you're like, I'm gonna ruin Amanda's day today. This is for you, Amanda. The fucked up thing is people making you feel badly for enjoying that. You shouldn't feel badly for enjoying gossip. It's 100% normal and natural to, because it's definitely an extension of childhood. Because all of us, when we were kids, and all kids now, for a certain period of time, the worst storytellers ever, okay? You don't know shit about editing information, enhancing things, keeping people's interests. So look, you don't have to have a kid to know about this. Talk to any kid, a friend's kid, a niece, a nephew. It's when you go to a kid, you go like, hey, were you outside? And they go, yeah. And you're like, why don't you dial that back? That was crazy, okay? And then you ask one question like, how was that? And they go, when Jeanette came by, she brought the yellow cup that she didn't want to kick the ball back. But I said, because Brian's cup is red, that if you don't have it now, then you don't have to bring the blue one that Jane had was with her. I said, if you don't have it, you can use mine now, but then next, it's my turn. You go, that was a great fucking story. Thank you. Jesus. And then kids accidentally tell their first good story. They don't mean to. It's an accident. That's why it leaves an impact. Because you go, were you at the park? And they go, yeah. And you go, well, how was that? And they go, I saw Uncle Jeff, and he had a lady sitting on his lap, but it wasn't Aunt Maria. And you're like, what? And the kid's like, shit, I've never seen that fucking face before. And you're like, that's a good story. Go find more stories like that. That's burned into your psyche. That's why you go to work, you see your coworker, you're like, hey, I got some juice. And they're like, is it gonna negatively impact somebody's life? Yeah. And they're like, fucking hook that shit up. I've spread so many fucking rumors. My favorite part about rumors, nobody verifies shit. Somebody says something once, you're like, cool, I'll roll with that forever. Thanks, man. Like, they're like, are you gonna fact check that? You're like, wow, you said it out loud. I don't have to check anything out. Like, it's now a fact, so whatever.